bit recapitulations. Let's take a look. Okay, class, could you please off your mic? Okay, okay, yes, we are in the tree vehicle. So we are in chapter 4, okay. In stage 1, explaining the differences in the types of people who undertake this path. Okay, we have already finished. Then is the stage 2, explaining the elements that make up this path, which is related to noble truth of 4 noble truths, and also Paticca Samuppada. We have already finished it. Stage 3, defining the noble truth of the path to cessation as embodied by the 3 training and the Noble Eightfold Path. Yes, now I think we are the advancing training of morality. We have already finished. Now we are in the advancing training of the mind. Yes, we are about here, right? So we expect to finish this, and then we will proceed to the advancing training of wisdom. And then probably we can start the noble eightfold path here. Okay, I think maybe for Mr. Leong will feel quite familiar, because whatever terminologies we quote, all is very common and popular in Theravada. Okay, I think so far you feel quite familiar, but of course the terminology. They newly create some terminology which is not that common in the Theravadin circle the terminology that you try to use. But anyway, basically, if let's say you expose yourself to the Theravadin meditation, basically, I think you can find about 1,000 maybe of the meditation method in the Theravada market. Okay, but basically all the terminology used, they confine in the Nikaya. That is the terminology which we always encounter within this chapter. Okay, but anyway, once we proceed to the last chapter, that is the terminology we will use to describe the meditative experience in Mahayana and also in the northern, northern part of the Buddhism. We're going to see it. Okay, so let's take a look. We go to the previous lesson. Okay, in the previous lessons, we talk about contemplation of impurity and controlled breathing are called the two ambrosias. Okay, if you can remember, we go quite detailed about the impurity, which is the formless contemplation, and also the controlled breathing, meaning to say is the anapanasati. I think the controlled breathing might not be a good, maybe it's not a very appropriate translation, I think, because anapanasati, basically we don't control it. We don't control it, okay? But we also go for quite detail in this part. It's about basically we are still in the superior study of the mind. Why this is the superior study of the mind? The reason is it will, we meditate for the sake of cultivating the true wisdom. So that's why we call it as a superior study of the mind. Okay. Then once we talk about, these two embryoses, we also talk about the 5 contemplation to calm the mind. Okay. And from here we understand we understood that the formless contemplation consists of 9 contemplations in total. All right. And about the anapanasati, okay, the area is covered is about the counting, following, stopping, contemplating, returning, and purifying. The first 3 is about the samatha. The last 3 is about the vipassana. Okay, so we continue from here. Okay, so Mr. Leong, can you please read through it? Yeah, you on the mic, please, Mr. Leong.
Verse 92. Following these to collect the mind, one can attain right concentration. The development of true wisdom comes from the 7 dependable concentrations taught by the Buddha. Practicing meditation means following the previously mentioned doctrines of the contemplations of human impurity and controlled breathing to collect the mind and keep it from being scattered. When beginning to practice meditation or cultivating the wisdom that comes from contemplation, one needs an object of focus, such as the bruises of a corpse, and so forth, or the inhaling and exhaling of breathing. If one investigates and ponders an object that one perceives, one is practicing contemplation. If one focuses on the object and collects the mind, concentrating and staying on the object, then one is practicing meditation. There are many methods to practice meditation and many perceptible objects on which to focus the mind. To overcome the 2 primary obstacles of meditation, desire and scatteredness, and to build right concentration, however, the 2 methods described above are definitely effective and safe. If, in the process of collecting one's mind, one can stay far away from the 5 desires and eliminate the 5 hindrances, then one will quickly engender virtue and succeed. In general, if concentration is not deviant or attached, it is right concentration. But accordingly to the word transcending Dharma, only faultless concentration is the right concentration.
Okay, thank you so much. We try to digest. Okay, finished. Thank you. Let's take a look. This paragraph, I think, is the continuation from the above paragraph. Okay, so we still mentioned about the 2 methods of the meditation. Okay, first, need an object of focus. Okay, basically, for all the samatha meditation and the vipassana meditation, especially from the view of point of Abhidharma, there must be an object to focus. If let's say your object of focus is not that clear, meaning to say that you can't build your mindfulness on certain thing. Okay, once we talk about Satipatthana, Satipatthana meaning to say that you build up your mindfulness based on four object, meaning to say is body, feeling, okay, mind, and also is the Dharma. Okay, so there must be an object for the concentration. If that's the case, how about emptying the mind? Is there any object in emptying the mind as we practice the Qigong? Mr. Leong, do you think is there any object? On the mind, please, yes.
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Of course, we got an object. Okay, but of course, this is one thing quite different. Is you see, basically, most of the meditative method is you have to focus maybe in Mahayana a mantra, right? We chant a mantra and we focus on the mantra. Okay, we're using both organ, ear and also the ear. Basically, it's ear, but we make the sound by ourselves. Okay, but it is possible that the sound come out from externally. For example, some people, they are hearing the flow of the water. Okay, once the flow of water is consistent and produce a very consistent sound, yes, you can use it as a meditative object. Okay, that is also, we are using the ear faculty, or we are focusing something. Anapanasati, quite sure you also have to focusing something. But in emptying the mind, is there any object? Yes, we got an object. The object is, you see, once we try to empty our mind, meaning to say that we try to prolong, okay, if there's one mind appeared, all right, and then you take time for second mind to appear. But if we, for the first thought and the second thought, if let's say we try to prolong it as long as possible, that we call it emptying mind method, which we put ourselves in the alpha stage. Okay, so there is an object. But one thing is very special is, it seems you didn't put any attention in anywhere, right? Am I right? You didn't put any attention to anywhere. So it meaning to say that the advantage is, if let's say you feel very taxing, very tired by doing the Anapanasati, okay, now you just relax your mind, and for quite sure, if you do emptying the mind, you wouldn't be over concentrating, because it seems you concentrate nothing, but we still can see the effect. Because if you concentrate to nothing, how come there's a chi circulation and you feel hot in the body, all right, and you feel the joy, and lastly you can see the nimitta? There must be you do something, right? If you do nothing, how can you produce all this? You must do something. But this method is quite different. Is you no need to put your mind in certain place. Taoism, including Taoism and also Yogaism, basically you have to put your concentration in certain places. Okay, but here no need emptying the mind, no need. But one thing is that since you put your mind with nothing, sometimes you are lost and you will gone, you know, because you empty your mind, it seems to, you can't differentiate whether you are emptying the mind or you are doing nothing, you see. So that's why people sometimes, once they are moving, but their mind is still thinking, so they will suspect, am I really do the Qigong? Why I'm moving, but what I'm thinking also at the same time, people, they will suspect, you know. Okay, because sometimes you don't know, you also will start to suspect, where you will be skeptical, whether the moving is done by yourself or really by the energy. Because both happen at the same time. There is this is something this is the shortcoming of this method. Sometimes you'll be confused, you see. But anyway, if you can, if you use this as a minor subject, once you're overstressed, then you shift to the emptying the mind. Okay, I think you will know it better. You know how to just adjust it. Okay. Okay, so always once we talk about focusing on the object, remember that we are practiced and quite exceptional method here. Okay, now next we take a look. We got so many methods to practice the meditation, and we got two primary obstacles: is a desire and scatteredness. Okay, class, basically desire and scatteredness is the feature for the beings in sensual realm. in Dharma, they specifically name that scatterness and desire is the unique for all the sentient beings here. You see, it doesn't label the anger, especially the scatterness. According to the Dharma, only you, if you wish to totally eliminate the scatterness, you have to attain to Arahant. Arahant is the only way to eliminate the scatter. But I don't know whether you agree or not. Once your mind is scattered, you have the tendency, you have the tendency for being easily agitated and also easily arise the greediness. Do you agree? If let's say you just after meditation, your mind is very calm, you are not so, you won't succumb to the anger and also the desire. But if let's say your mind is scattered, okay, you found that your mind really can hardly concentrate. You can get angry easily at the same time. Basically has something to do with the breathing. Scattered mind basically relates to the chest breathing. The focused mind basically relates to the abdominal breathing. So that's the reason why if you use with the chest breathing, you are vulnerable to the external, the temptation and also the unfavorable condition. You get angry easily at all these things. Okay, so meaning to say we should try your best to avoid all this. Okay, but anyway, besides focusing the mind can do, we also using the spinning chakra method. Basically, I prefer spinning chakra very much because the way I see the spinning chakra, it will stabilize the chakra. Okay, and the chakra itself indirectly will stabilize the meridian. And basically, once I stable my meridian, and my mind also will become stable. You can feel the force of the samadhi once we do the spinning chakra. That's why you can meditate better. Okay. All right. Now next we go to the next paragraph. Is one can stay far away from the 5 desires and eliminate the 5 hindrances. Then one will quickly engender virtue and succeed. That's correct. Basically, class, in order to attain the samadhi, you have to eliminate the 5 hindrances. Okay. If concentration is not deviate or attached, it is right concentration. Okay. Concentration for being attached, I think I'm meaning to say that, or deviate it's about the purpose class. If let's say your purpose for the concentration mostly aiming for gaining the psyche, or you just wish to not the right purpose, especially for psychic, and also maybe you wish to gain some fame, okay, just for by demonstrating how good you perform the double leg lotus, all this, that is not a rightful purpose. So that we don't create as a right concentration. Okay, basically the right concentration. There's another definition that right concentration have to be integrated with the observation of the 5 aggregate. So class, always remember, if let's say your concentration is without integration with the vipassana, that is the mandate concentration, meaning to say that the outcome is the reincarnation. But once you do the vipassana, okay, you will end up to become the supramandate concentration because the outcome is the nibbana. Okay, so one question is very funny. Okay, let's say we do samadhi very well. Okay, so when we pass away, okay, sure we will be born to the rupa realm, to the rupa, to the jhana realm. Okay, but if let's say you do the vipassana by using a first jhana to the vipassana, you are unable to attain nibbana, then where will you go? Where will you go? Because if you are able to attain nibbana, you see, so maybe finally, first stage arahant, once you die, immediately you will just, go to the nibbana state. All right. Okay. If you practice the jhana, okay, finally you go to the jhana realm. You were reborn there. Okay, but you do the vipassana half. you haven't. I mean, the nirvana haven't arise yet, and yet you already shift from jhana to the vipassana. So where will you go after your if after your death, Elena? Where will you go, Elena, where will you go? You think, very difficult question, right? No, you on the mic. What? No, how come become gods? No, you will be gods.
Yeah, don't think of
No.
Yeah, Mr. Leong, what do you think?
I think we should go to the form Rupa realm.
Rupa Ram. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the answer is we'll go back as a human or sensual ram. The reason is that the reason is we come back as a human. The possibility is very high. The reason is once you do the vipassana, you are using your sensual. I mean, you are using your, how to say, the favorable sensuous consciousness to do that. You are using that. We call it as a but it is explainable only in Abhidhamma only. In Abhidhamma, according to Abhidhamma, by use vipassana is a state which you are using the favorable consciousness in our sensual realm to do the contemplation. It is stated instead. So we need to say, once you do the vipassana, keep on doing the vipassana, you will create the karma by using the favorable consciousness. Okay, so once you pass away, the favorable consciousness, especially the good quality one, and will lead you to this become a human again or sensual realm. Okay, not the rupa realm. Okay, because you're already far away from the jhana, so not necessary to worry about that. I mean, where will you go? Because vipassana itself is the karma relates to the sensual realm. Okay, but of course, I remember I have been staying with the jhana master, Sayadaw, and he encouraged me to reborn as a rupa jhana.
State.
Yes, he said, according Dhya Sutta, Theravada Sutta, okay, attainment of arahantship is quite easier in rupa state compared in the sensual state, because you don't have any obstacle from the body. You see or not now? Now you try to sit, you found that the body itself is the obstruction. But of course, this is a tool for us. You see, you sit 1 hour, then you feel the pain in your posterior, and then the leg also. But if you are the being in the rupa realm, you won't have this type of problem. You can sit for 3 months, according to Di Zhang Jing, and also Abhidhamma. Buddha, give the sermon about the Di Zhang Jing, Siddhikapa Sutra or Abhidhamma in the realm. Why does he choose the sensual realm? The reason is they can sit for continuous 3 months. They no need go for urination and also for bowel evacuation. But all we have this type of problem, you see. So I think it is logic. You can attain easily if you reborn as a sensual. If you reborn in the rupa state. But you have to make sure where you born, there must be a lot of good friend who is related to the triple gem. That is important thing. Well, if you're reborn, go to the family, there's a Christian family or Muslim family, or end up you become a Muslim. So if a lady has to cover your head from down to dust. Okay, yes, Mr. Leong.
Yeah. Sifu, I know what the 5 hindrances are, but what is the 5 desires? What are the 5 of them? The desires.
Okay. 5 desire is the rupa. Yes. 色身香味触法. Okay, the 5 desire meaning to say that it's come from the 色 color, sound,
Huh?
color, okay, color, not okay, sound, smell, odor, okay, smell, odor, touching, all these type of things. There's a 5 desire. Okay, it's from the 5 organ.
It means these are the 5 senses.
5 object, not 5 senses, 5 object. The color, okay, the color, the sound, the smell, the taste, and the touching. That is the and also the touching. There's a 5 thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 5 desire. But I mean, informally, sometimes people will interpret 5 desire as money. 财色名食睡 money, sex, fame or reputation, food, and sleeping. This is informal definition. I think people can understand easily with this informal definition. Am I right? 佢哋講咩啊？財色名食睡。Yeah, this is people can understand better because everybody, nobody could be exempted from this 5 things. Everybody attached over it. Sleeping, yes. Well, Mr. Leong seems going to sit for a
Exam.
examination. So you are quite particular to the terminologies.
No, we must understand what we read also. If not, we will have wrong understanding.
Yeah. You are a good, how to say, you are a good scholar also at the same time. So Elena, please, next sentence. Okay.
The virtuous and holy disciples of the 3 vehicles practice meditation for the sake of cultivating true wisdom. The meditative states range from the superficial to the profound in different stages. So what type of meditation can be followed to cultivate true wisdom? The methods of meditation include the 4 dhyanas and the 8 concentrations. The concentration characterized by extinction of sensation and thought, as practiced and realized by sages, will not be discussed here. The 4 dhyanas are the first, second, third, and fourth dhyana. The 8 concentration are these 4 plus the states of infinite space, infinite consciousness, of nothingness, and of neither perception nor non-perception. In beginning with an ordinary scattered mind, one gradually practices and enters a meditative state. The first state one attains is peripheral concentration that precedes the fundamental concentration of the first dhyana. This is the state of approaching concentration. Entering it is like reaching the suburbs before getting to the city. Advancing further, one attains the first dhyana.
Okay, thank you. Okay, finish. Okay, yeah. Okay, finish. Let me. Okay, so we continue. Okay, finish. Well, we'll go to really understand, I mean, what jhana is about. Okay, Mrs. Leong, okay, how do you define yourself that you have already been reaching 30? Mrs. Leong, 你點樣講啊？你已經到咗 30咧？點樣 define 嚇？Mrs. Leong don't know how to answer. Okay, so let your husband answer for you. Yes, how do you say that you have already been reaching 30?
Physically and mindfully, your presence are in that particular.
Yes, well, you look like a philosopher. Huh? You answer in a very
place.
abstract way. Okay, well, basically, you said that you reach 30. Once you come to my place, right? Okay, and the real, I think the exact definition is you already beyond the gate. Am I right? Okay, if you see 30, it doesn't mean you have already reached 30.
Outside the gate.
You have to go inside the gate. Okay,
Yeah.
Go inside the gate, then you say, oh, I reached 30 already. Okay, if let's say you're still outside the gate, are you considered reaching 30?
No.
But you're very close, right? Because you're just one more step after the gate, then you are in 30, right? So that is the meaning of the approaching concentration. Okay, but in Theravada, they don't use approaching concentration. They are using access concentration. This is which is more common terminology. So class, here approaching concentration. Can you please do a footnote to this? Access concentration. Access concentration jhana, yes. Yeah, access concentration. Okay, once you step in 30 already, all right, just like after you already go into the first jhana, so they will be the first, second, third, fourth jhana. So class, basically, the meaning of the jhana, there's still a form. So we call it as a form state. Okay, a Rupa sphere, or we call it a form sphere, okay, or Rupa state, okay, because they still got form. And after the fourth jhana, you will pass through the form state to the formless state. So formless states are here, they use infinite, okay, Elena pronounced infinite space. And infinite space, they got four state also, which is, we call it, I can't remember in English. Let's take a look. Infinite consciousness, of nothingness, of neither perception nor non-perception. Well, basically, it is quite hard to understand because it is already in the pure spiritual state. Quite hard to describe. Okay, but anyway, especially the latest two, the last two, we call it as neither perception nor non-perception and the nothingness. These two we are quite familiar because according to the legendary of the bibliography of the Shakyamuni Buddha, Shakyamuni before enlightenment, he met two teachers. That two teachers is the most profound in meditation in India. They were, at that moment now, they were quite famous teachers. So Shakyamuni go to meet them, and also learn their technique. But finally, Shakyamuni noticed that, oh, the method is not, how to say, it's not ultimate. Because after especially the non-perception, once I come up from the jhana, I still feel the defilement. So he decided to abandon the method and he shift to the vipassana. And according to the sutra, the mention, Shakyamuni he himself recall the past life practice of the Vipassana. And then finally, without people teaching, without the teaching from somebody, he is able to use the Vipassana method for the attainment. That's the story about that. Okay, so don't know whether you remember or not. These two teachers, they're very profound. In in the most in the most serious recent TV series, which is produced by the Indian. It is about the story of the Buddha. So especially the last teacher, he is able to meet only during the meditation. Okay, of course there's a fabrication in the movie, but it means the author really put the heart to fabricate how the Buddha to met the best master in India without seeing him. So that's the story. That's the TV series. It's about 50 episodes. Very long. Have you ever been? Not yet lah. Yeah, okay. Wait lah. I think I show Elena or you all before lah. There's one very old people. He submerged himself in the water. Okay. Then he come up from the water. So he is the one. Elena, remember? You do remember lah. You look sleepy also. Okay. He is the one in the concept of nothingness, in the state of the nothingness. Okay. It's very profound. See. In the sutra, in Visuddhimagga, it described that neither perception nor non-perception is the state that it's just like the oil in the bowl, you see. Okay. After the pindabat, after you finish all the food, okay, you will find that there is a very thin layer of the oil at the bowl. Okay. Yes, you can feel the there's the grease there, but you are not able to use it. Okay, so that is the situation, like the perception, non-perception. You can say that there is a perception, but you also can say that there's non-perception. So this is the highest state now in the meditation now. So since Shakyamuni learned all this, so he include these two in the Buddhism meditation. Okay, but anyway, we no need to worry. Okay, but Shakyamuni also categorized that he discouraged the last one for Vipassana because the samadhi is over strong already. So far, Shariputra is the only one, is the first and last disciple who was able to use this jhana, this perception, non-perception, to attain the nibbana, to do the Vipassana. Shariputra is the only one only. But anyway, no need to worry because we would accidentally attain to that level. We would. Basically, even we want also cannot attain. Now it's our problem is we want, we also cannot attain. So no need to worry. Accidentally attainment, it won't. No need to worry about that. Okay. Okay, next, let's take a look. So here, talk about approaching concentration. So we roughly get the whole idea about that. And there's one more thing is about this, you see how. The concentration characterized by the extinction of sensation of thought. Okay, this is more common in Mahayana explanation, in Mahayana texts. Why we create sensation and the thought? Because according to the first jhana, how do we encourage people to attain to the first jhana? The reason is in our sensual realm, there's a lot of sensation and the thought. We will tell people that always think for the shortcoming for being in the sensuous realm because a lot of sensation and the thought. So please go to the first jhana. So after you see the shortcoming of the sensual realm and the advantage of the first jhana, your mind itself will divert to the first jhana once the 5 jhana factor completely form. So that is what we do lah. Practically, once you have to think, but you have to think mentally. Once you think mentally, you go back to the meditation. Then you go to put. You found that the nimitta appeared. In the nose is exactly same in your heart, and the heart will reflect the formation of the jhana factor. Okay. Once you go to check it. So this is one of the mastery of checking. You must be able to check the formation of the jhana factor. And another one is you must be able to divert from the heart to the nimitta here. So this is another one of the mastery. You see, remember we got 5 mastery, so you must be able to master these 2 mastery so that you can proceed to the first jhana. Okay, got it? Okay, maybe you don't remember, we mentioned the name in the meditation of beginners. You go to flip, we got 5 mastery. Okay, I think we will go through. Okay. Yes, Elena.
Sorry, Sivu, can you repeat? Meditation of what? You said that all those things are mentioned in that meditation of?
What was I talking about? I also don't remember. What?
Subject, the book, the name of the subject,
Yes.
the topic.
Oh, the book.
Ah.
The book. The book relates to what?
No.
Related to the mastering of this meditation.
Mastery, but the mastery of the jhana, right? Oh, meditation for beginners. Your level 1 subject lah. Meditation for beginners, you forget lah. This is the first subject you learn already. So please check the note. Let me provide you the further terminologies. Okay, maybe after the class as a homework. Okay. Just check for you only 5 mastery. In meditation, 5 mastery.
No.
Oh yeah, 5 kind of the jhana mastery. Sorry, that will be correct. So let you
5 kinds
of a jhana mastery lah. This is the proper words. Tape. Okay, wait, let me see. Table 2. And from table 2, it asked me to go to this. So finally, this doesn't provide me the answer. Table 2. Let me see. Yes, this is the one.
5 kinds of jhana.
Yeah, okay. Enter jhana wherever desire. Resolve to stay in the jhana. Second, emerge from the jhana. Advert. Okay, advert. All right. Bring attention to the jhana factor and also to review the jhana factor. Okay, so that's the keyword lah. Enter jhana. Resolve to stay. Emerge, avert, and review. Okay, please. Yes, Mr. Liao.
See, for this one only apply for this Pak Ngau meditation technique.
No, it is in the Visuddhimagga. As long as your meditation method based on Visuddhimagga, you have to include all this. If you're royal to the Visuddhimagga, yes. Pak Ngau is
okay. Thank you.
Pak Ngau is one of the tradition who strictly follow the Visuddhimagga. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I think in Nikaya base, they might not necessarily follow the Nikaya based because maybe they might comment that the five mastery of the jhana might be the might not be the Buddha saying, like they say it's from a Buddha disciple saying, so they want to follow. Okay, so got it. So this is what was I mentioning just now. Okay, now we go to further. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, we already finished. Okay, now to go to the next sentence. Whose turn? Mr. Leong, right? Between.
Between the first jhana and the second jhana is something called the intermediate jhana and the approaching concentration prior to the second jhana. From here on, every level of concentration is divided into three groups: the intermediate concentration, the approaching concentration, and the fundamental concentration. But the broad grouping is of the 4 jhanas and 8 concentrations. In the 8 concentrations, the state of neither perception nor non-perception, the concentrated mind is so refined that the power of the mind cannot be relied on to cultivate true wisdom. To develop the true wisdom, one must rely on the 7 dependable concentrations, the 4 jhanas and infinite space, infinite consciousness, and nothingness. The initial peripheral concentration, the state of approaching concentration of the first jhana, can also develop wisdom. So it is included in the first jhana.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, finish. Okay, so class, take a look. We got a few terminology: intermediate jhana, fundamental jhana, approaching concentration. What does that mean? Class, once we attain the first jhana, so this is the second jhana. So from the first jhana to second jhana, there will be one intermediate jhana. Okay, this is more common in Mahayana text. Okay, we got an intermediate jhana. And the first jhana, second jhana itself, we call it as a fundamental jhana. Okay, it's a fundamental concentration. All right. So before the first jhana, there's an approaching jhana. Now, approaching jhana meaning to say it is approaching, it is a suburb only. Okay. So there's a three terminology. So basically, the first jhana and the second jhana, they are the one we rely on it to do the meditation, to do the vipassana meditation. Okay. Basically, within the 8 jhana, let's take a look. We exclude this state of neither perception nor non-perception. we examine them. The reason is we cannot rely on to cultivate the true wisdom. We can't rely on them because that is too powerful already. Okay, it's too powerful. And then concentrated mind is so refined, it's over refined already. So we are using 7 dependable concentration. Yeah, Mr. Leong, I think the possible is the 7 dependent concentration is the, how to say, it's a little, I mean, it's a literal translation. Because in Mandarin we call qi eating 7 independent. Maybe Theravada they use a different ways. You use a different terminology. So we got 8 jhana. So just 7 is 7 dependable, meaning to say we use 7 of them to do the vipassana only. Okay, well, basically, according to my teacher mentioned to me that once you attain to the first jhana go to second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, actually it's quite easy. The most difficult part is from the assessed concentration to the first jhana. Assessed concentration is the sensual realm, which we used to be. You see, we really enjoy, we enjoy this five sensual object. This is our habit. But once you reach the first jhana, meaning to say that in first jhana, there's totally already let go and no more attachment to any the 5 sense object. You see, so from here to shift to here is rather difficult. Compare from first jhana to first, second, third, fourth, because are you already in the same realm already. Once you have you got the habit to let go, to abandon the 5 desire. So, but the difference from first and second jhana is just only abandonment of the jhana ankar factor. That's all only. More easier for people. So now our challenge is how to abandon the all these 5 senses to go to that. But anyway, since you all can experience a good jhana, you are getting less and less attachment to the sensual realm. But anyway, after the meditation, just enjoy the food. Yes. I don't think we should create some difficulty for ourselves, right? We don't cook the food until it looks so ugly and very tasteless. We don't do that. We just do the thing But once you enjoy the food, you forget about it. Then meditate, you can really concentrate. That is the key point and more normal I think. Okay, next, let's take a look. Okay, now we go to the study of the wisdom. Okay. Study of wisdom. Okay.
The study of wisdom. Chapter 9. The study of superior wisdom is right understanding that transcends this world. The truth of the way comprises the 3 studies and the 8-fold path. The study of the precepts and the study of meditation have been explained. Now the study of wisdom will be discussed. This is the right understanding about the 8-fold right path. Superior wisdom, a right understanding that transcends this world, is the cultivation of wisdom as the basis for liberation. Of course, this is not worldly knowledge or worldly understanding. It is world transcending. It surpasses the ordinary world. It is the knowledge that there is good and evil, that there is karmic results, that there are past and future lives, and there are ordinary people and sages. All this is the Buddhist right understanding of the world. The Sanskrit word for wisdom is prajna. Among all the virtues cultivated in the Buddha Dhamma, prajna is the ultimate virtue. Having prajna can be described as having reached home, because the realization of the truth and the great event of being liberated from birth and death have been accomplished. The great door of the city of Nirvana has been opened. Without prajna, none of the doctrines can be liberated from birth and death. Prajna is the most fundamental virtue. Being the leader, prajna guides all the meritorious practices and is in accordance with all virtues. As a basis for liberation, wisdom is the third of the 3 studies, but in the 8-fold right path, it is listed first. This is why the involvement of prajna extends throughout the Buddha Dhamma from the beginning to the end. It both leads and finishes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, finish. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah. Okay, well, once we talk about the superior wisdom, quite a number of there's quite numerous terminology involved here. See, we used to describe that right understanding transcends this world, surpasses the ordinary world. Okay, so this is the few things that we always talk about how we transcend the world. Class, remember, transcend the world meaning to say that the world of the five aggregate. Don't imagine that we transcend the world. The world is this world, not this world. Basically, we transcend our five aggregate. Nibbana is something quite special. We can't include it in the five aggregate. We can't include it. There's no space for it. Okay, but if let's say you put it to the 12 ayatana, okay, okay, then there is usually we include it to the consciousness. Okay, it belongs to the consciousness. But in five aggregate, there's no room for the nibbana. Okay, but anyway, in order to attain the nibbana, nibbana is no way. You can attain the nibbana through contemplating the five aggregate. It's just like you want to get the sesame oil. The only way is the source of the sesame oil is from the sesame itself. You go nowhere to find the sesame oil. Same, nibbana is actually still within the five realm, but just you have to do the vipassana when it is ripened, when it is mature, nibbana will be arise. That's the perception. Okay. I think the next paragraph, if you remember, we also talk about all regards to jhana. We describe it as the truth, and then it's the final homes. We want to go back. And also, in tree study, this is the finest one, is the last one. We need to say it plays an important role. But in the Eight Noble Path, it's the first one. So we need to say that, they are both first and the last. Include everything. If without the prajna, all the other merit, it's just like a blind without any guide. Okay. So in 6 paramita, especially in the Bodhisattva path, prajna is so important. Without the guide of the prajna, the rest, the 6 of them, is without any direction. Okay. So that's why we have to really go through it to understand how is the wisdom is it and what is it about. Okay. Yes. Yeah. But still, anything? Yes. On the mic, please. Yes, Mr. Leong.
Regarding the study of superior wisdom, the right understanding is this area called Sampajana.
Sambhajana. Sambajana, huh? Okay, huh? Sambajana is a Pali term. Can you, let me try to search a little bit, huh? Because I don't forget, huh? The English, Sambajana, huh? Let me try to get it. Huh? Has been variously translated in English: clear comprehension, clear knowing, clear alert, clear awareness, attention, concentration, inspection. Huh? Okay, let's see how. If let's say as a clear comprehension and clear knowing, yes, it is about the wisdom. Yes. Okay, according here, how clear comprehension and clear knowing, that is wisdom. Sambhajana is correct. I think it's the wisdom. Huh? Okay, next, let's take a look. Huh? Okay, and this we call it as a right understanding of the world. What does that mean, the right understanding? There is the good and evil, karmic result, past and future life, and ordinary people and the sages. Okay, I don't know whether you remember or not. This is in the chapter number 3. Do you remember? No, because I'm the teacher, so I remember. The student, there's no obligation for student to remember everything. Okay, but anyway, class, this we call it right understanding of the world. What is the important is basically all the Buddhists, they will think by using this type of word understanding. Basically, all Buddhism they interpret the question, they interpret the problem. If let's say there's anything you feel unhappy or unsatisfied, so you will say that, oh, maybe my past life karma, or maybe this is my karma ripen. Why we would think so? Because as a Buddhist, it is our norm, and this is also the feature as a Buddhist by using this type of doctrine to explain their world. Okay, so we call it as a right understanding of the world. Okay, in chapter number 5 or number 3. Class, remember, how do we label a people as authentic Buddhists? First, Triple Jam. Okay, the ceremony of taking Triple Jam. Second, right livelihood with the proper job. Third is the right understanding. It's these 4 things. Then we label it as authentic, as Buddhists. Okay. But basically, I think mostly, the people who do the chanting, maybe the last one is quite difficult because auntie, this is very headache. But Gui Yi, they are so happy to do the Gui Yi, but most probably because of the merit. They are always hoping for the merit. Oh, wherever there's a merit, Bodhisattva precept merit, okay, they will go. So, but of course, the monk also use the merit as a bait to hook people. Okay, so merit. Okay, about the right livelihood is the same. Basically, is but sometimes people, if let's say they're involved in their job, it's too many years, quite hard for us to ask him to change the job. But anyway, this is the 3 things to make you as a that's a requisite, is a requirement for being an authentic Buddhist. Okay, so that is the thing. Yes, Mr. Leong, anything?
Sifu, what's the meaning of Appamano?
Appamano. Again,
Yes.
Appamano.
Appamano, yes.
It's a Pali term, right?
It's also, yes, Pali term, correct.
It relates to the jhana also, right? Appamano, you heard from the master, right?
To the jhana and yes, and the understanding.
Okay. Appamano. Let me. Do you remember how to spell?
I think Appamano.
Okay. Appam. Appamano. Is this one Appamano?
I think. Yes. The second one.
The second one. This one.
What do you get?
Yes. Appamondo. Okay, let's take a look.
Oh no, Appamano.
Appamano lah. Appamano is supposed to be this one. Appamano lah. Oh no. This is a production. Oh no. Since you feel to get me, okay, please get me the correct Pali terms. I think it's right. Appamano Buddha, Appamano Dharma, right? I think this is the one. Sirinapa
Yes,
Apamano.
correct, correct.
Apamano.
Yes, yes, correct.
So let me try to look for it. Apamano. Apamano Sanggo. Okay, maybe I have to search is the Pali English dictionary. Okay, yes, limitless. Okay, I got it already. Apamano. Yeah. Limitless Buddha. Yeah, Mr. Leong, please copy. This is the limitless the Buddha. Limitless, the meaning is it's nothing to do with the prashnya lah. It's just limitless only. I think you're familiar with the terminology through the chanting lah, Mr. Leong. Am I right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, through the chanting, because Apamano is the chanting in the Pali. It's quite common. They do the chanting by using these words. Okay, so now we just go through, we finish all this. Now the next, okay, one more paragraph. Okay, in the Sutra of the Dharma common to the three vehicles, wisdom is given many other names. View, understanding, contemplation, patience, knowledge, enlightenment, right thought, true contemplation, true knowledge, all this. Okay, let me try to get a few for you. Okay, class, basically, okay, here what we see, I think it is understandable that this is all, I mean, the terminology relates to the wisdom. But the patient is the one you will feel quite surprised. In patient, Mandarin, they are using this terminology. Let's take a look. This words actually like patient. This is the word. Why it said mentions? This is the word appeared. Okay, basically, if we use this word in Mandarin, we call it yan. Cantonese call it yan. Yan. How come it appeared? Actually, this is quoted from the references of Sarvastivadin. In Sarvastivadin, especially during the Vipassana, especially you are aiming for the Bodhisattva path. For you, you are able to attain to the Nibbana, but you don't attain it. That is the difficult. Of course, what, right? Of course, what? For those who use, for those who realize that the fire aggregate is just like a burning house, of course, nobody wants to stay in the burning house. Okay, but why the Bodhisattva are still willing to stay in the burning house is due to the compassionate to the people around surrounding them. The people surrounding them. So in order to make them for being staying in the burning house, you need this patient. So that's why the patient appeared here. So the patient, it doesn't mean really it's the patient. This is one part of the wisdom the Bodhisattva are willing to stay in the burning house, in the burning fire aggregate. I just want to help people. Meaning to say that they are able to be not attain the Nibbana. why the patient appeared. Well, I think it is quite misunderstanding for the English act people. How come patients like that? But actually, you have to go back to the Chinese translation. It's from the Saraswati. I think Theravada, you can hardly heard about that. How to say? Just control yourself for not being attaining the nibbana. It never appeared. This only appeared in the Mahayana, in the Saraswati text only, especially for Bodhisattva. Okay, so I think class maybe in this a patient, you please write this Chinese word in the patient, please write this Chinese word. Okay, maybe you can just jot out the notes that to control themselves from being liberated, the ability, the state of control themselves from being attaining nibbana due to the compassionate to the living being. You can just put this type of definition.
See, for this yan in Pali is kanti, patience.
Okay, Pali, no, let me try to look for you the Pali terms. Shanti, yes, please write Shanti. Kanti, correct? Sanskrit is a Shanti. Pali is a Kandi. Okay, yes, the Kandi includes the patience and also the wisdom.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. It includes also the patient and also the wisdom both. Very good words, I found that. So write the Pali word at the same time. Yeah, basically, are you willing to yan just because the people surrounding you but not to attain nibbana? Elena, Mr. Leong, are you able to just don't want to attain the nibbana because you are so compassionate to people surrounding you? Are you able to?
Very difficult decision there, Sifu.
Well, if you aim for arahantship, Sravaga, it's not difficult. Just go to nibbana. Because for them, nibbana is the ultimate place for them. So how about the living being? Oh, they live to the Buddha. Because so that's why we got two types of the Buddha disciple. One is more Bodhisattva path. Bodhisattva, they cannot let go them, okay? But they are sage also, partial. Okay. So Sravaka is still direct. So Elena, which path you choose? Are you willing to let go them? Just go Nibbana by yourself if you are able? No, you want to stay with them. Oh, well, there's one phrase, idiom, there's how to say, idealism in our Mandarin, they say, a mud bodhisattva to cross the river. So finally, he dared himself disappear. After crossing the river, he disappeared already. So make sure you don't become a mud bodhisattva. Must become a real bodhisattva, okay? So this is the class for today. Okay, so just up to you. Just what to do later on. I mean, whether when
Sifu, can I ask one last question?
Yeah, sure, please.
Regarding this on page 164, liberated from birth and death has been accompanied. The great door of the city of Nibbana has been opened. How can they Nibbana as a city or a
yeah. Well, this is the analogy. You need to say that if let's say the Nibbana is a city, so the wisdom is the gate for it. You need a gate to go into the Nibbana. Okay, so that's the analogy. You must have the wisdom. Wisdom is the gate, so that the gate from you pass through the gate and go into the Nibbana city. That's the analogy. So in next lesson we'll go detail regard this. So in next class, I also will just add in some more regarding the mind connected process as I promised Mr. Leong briefly later on.
Thank you,
Later
teacher.
on, if you want to proceed, please go to Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma more detail in this and more detail in Vipassana. Okay, so tomorrow we chit chat again about part of the with Mr. Leong. Okay, so
Answer.
palms together.